Good day, and welcome to Resus Property Consultancy Training video. Our special topic today is about the basic laws in the Philippine real estate, and we are excited to introduce to you our very special guest who will share with us his knowledge and expertise to guide us in promoting Philippine properties. He is a licensed broker with more than 6 years of real estate marketing experience and a member of the Manila Board of Real Estate and a partner of Resus, Mr. Kim Ochoa. Mr. Kim, thank you so much for joining us in Resus.
Thank you for having me as well.
To start with, please share with us about the Real Estate Service Act of the Philippines, or RESA Law.
RESA Law, or Republic Act 9646, which took effect on July 30, 2009, deals primarily with acts generally considered to be real estate services, the qualifications of those who may practice the profession, and the penalties corresponding to violations of its provisions. Moreover, the law protects the rights of those who call themselves real estate professionals and also lays down the rules which these professionals have to adhere to so that they may be registered under the Professional Regulation Commission, or PRC, and be allowed to continue their practice.
And who are those considered to be practitioners of real estate services, and what do they do?
So, Section 3 of the RESA law lists the types of professionals who are considered to be in the practice of real estate services. They are the real estate consultants, appraisers, assessors, brokers, and real estate salespersons. It's important to note that they must be duly registered and licensed by the PRC, while real estate salespersons, on the other hand, need only be accredited only. So let me discuss them one by one. So let's start with the real estate consultants. Real estate consultants are those who render professional advice on the acquisition, enhancement, preservation, utilization, or disposition of lands and improvement. They also provide the conception, planning, management, and development of real estate projects. Next are the real estate appraisers. So real estate appraisers are those who perform services that involve estimating on the value of the property. Real estate assessors, on the other hand, are those who are employed by local government units. These are cities, municipalities, and provinces, and they appraise and assess the value of real properties, which include plants, equipment, machineries, and the like. So in here, it is important to note that while appraisers perform their tasks for the purpose of reporting the values as appraised, assessors, on the other hand, perform such tasks for the purpose of taxation. Third, we have the more popular, which are the real estate brokers. Okay, the real estate brokers are those ones who act as agents of a party in a real estate transaction. They facilitate the offer, listing, promotion, negotiation, or actual meeting between two parties on a sale, mortgage, lease, joint venture, or any similar transaction involving real properties. Simply, they act as middlemen between the person offering to sell their property and the one offering to buy it. So last but not the least, we have the real estate salespersons. So the salespersons are those who may act on behalf of a real estate broker to facilitate a real estate transaction. It is not uncommon in the Philippines for a single real estate broker to have several salespersons working under him or her license.
So, what are the qualifications required under RA 9646?
It is important that all applicants must be Filipino citizens, whether they are natural born or naturalized Filipino citizens. In addition to that, they must have a college degree or at least 2 years of college education for salespersons. More importantly, they should have not been convicted of any crime. Corporations and partnerships are also allowed to engage in real estate practice if they are duly registered with the SEC or the Securities and Exchange Commission, but those authorized to act in its behalf must all be licensed real estate brokers.
How about the sales professionals who have been practicing real estate since before 2009?
According to Section 20, professionals who have been practicing real estate services before the RESA law took effect in 2009 can be issued a certificate and professional ID without taking the prescribed exam, provided that they satisfy any of the following requirements. 1. They are already real estate brokers, appraisers, or consultants licensed by the Department of Trade and Industry. Second, they are already assessors or appraisers who hold permanent appointments and have been practicing their profession for the last 5 years. So that's basically before 2009. And they have passed the Real Property Assessing Officer exam conducted by the CSC or the Civil Service Commission. Lastly, they are assessors or appraisers who hold permanent appointments, have at least 10 years of actual experience in real estate appraisal or assessment, and have completed at least 120 hours of accredited training on real estate appraisal.
Thus, the passing of licensure exam means they are automatically lead to registration?
The PRC may deny your application for the real estate service profession even if you have passed the licensure exam. The three most common grounds are the following. So first, if you have been convicted by a court of law of any criminal offense. Second, if you, upon investigation by the PRC, have been found guilty of immoral or dishonorable conduct. And finally, if you have been found to be psychologically unfit for the profession.
By the way, Sir Kim, who are the exempted from the application of the RESA law?
In Section 28 of the RESA law, it stipulates that the following are exempted from the application of its provisions. So let's go to them one by one. So first are the owners of real property or the private owners, as they are not required to have a license in order to sell their own property. However, this does not include real estate developers because they are regulated by the Housing and Land Use Regulatory Board or the HLURB. Trustees in bankruptcy or insolvency proceedings are also exempted, as well as people who act pursuant to court orders. Example given here is the sheriff of the court. Duly constituted attorneys in fact authorized to negotiate the sale, mortgage, lease, or exchange of real estate provided that they do not require any form of compensation. And public officers who perform such acts in line with their official duties. However, it is important to know that the latter does not include government assessors.
Can foreigners practice real estate services in the Philippines?
Generally, no, they cannot. However, the law does state an exemption. This is foreign reciprocity. Under Section 24 of the RESA law, it stipulates that foreigners are prohibited from the practice of real estate services in the Philippines. Although, it also says that this rule shall not apply if the country where the foreign applicant is from allows Filipinos in the real estate service industry to practice within its territory as its own citizens would.
Is there any other information regarding the licensure examination?
So, the licensure examination is prepared and administered by the Professional Regulatory Board for Real Estate Practice, which is under the PRC. It is composed of 13 real estate-related subjects, which may be increased as the board sees fit. After passing the examination, you will be required to take an oath before a member of the board or the PRC. In addition to that, applicants for real estate brokers and appraisers are required to post a cash or surety bond that will serve as professional indemnity assurance. This bond is renewable every 3 years and the coverage should not be less than 20,000 pesos. The license also issued is also renewable every 3 years. It's also important that the PRC licenses must be displayed in a conspicuous area in the office or business establishment that is dedicated to the practice of real estate services.
Can a real estate broker license be suspended or revoked?
Of course, definitely. The PRC may revoke your certificate of registration and professional ID license for a number of reasons. First, if you got your license through fraud or deceit. Next, if you allow an unqualified person to advertise or practice the profession using your own certificate, ID card, or permit. Third, if you engage in unprofessional or unethical conduct. Fourth, if you commit any form of malpractice or a violation of the RESA law itself, its implementing rules and regulations, and the Code of Ethics and Responsibilities for Real Estate Service Practitioners. And finally, if you get suspended for an offense and continue practicing real estate services.
What does the RESA law prohibit?
Moving on to its prohibitions, Section 29 prohibits the practice or the offer to practice real estate services or to offer yourself as a real estate service practitioner if you have not been licensed by the PRC, except those who are covered by the RESA law's exemption.
And what are the penalties for violating the RA 9646?
So the violations can be seen in Section 39. Section 39 stipulates that any violation of the RESA law, including violations of its implementing rules and regulations, shall be penalized with a fine of not less than 100,000 pesos or imprisonment of not less than 2 years or both. If the offender happens to be unlicensed, the aforementioned penalty is doubled, which means it's 200,000 pesos and or 4 years imprisonment. Furthermore, partnerships, corporations, associations, or other judicial entities who have committed, consented to, or knowingly tolerated such violations are deemed a principal or a co-principal of the violations, along with the other participants, and are subject to the same penalty.
With that, thank you very much, Mr. Kim Ochoa, for sharing your knowledge with us as we have learned so much about the RESA law. I'm Vanessa, and this has been your Resus Property Consultancy Training video.